go. Right, here we are on the first weekend of June at the library garden at Avondale Nursery near Coventry. Now, generally people think of gardening as being in the southeast and around Surrey and around Wisley, but in actual fact I've lived and worked all over London, all over the southeast, all over the Midlands, all over the northwest, and wherever you garden you can have an amazing garden. Here in the Midlands there are some particularly good ones, so I'd like to show a few plants before we leave here. So this is the library garden. First of all, we have Eryngium Zabellii Zonard variety. Absolutely stunning, reliable perennial, so long as you've got a sunny, well-drained spot for it. And it's absolutely mobbed by bees, bumblebees. Quite stunning. I've always been a fan of irises, and particularly of the Californian hybrids, the Iris innominata hybrids. And here is one of them called Iris Broadleaf Penny. Stunning plant, really beautiful flowers. But not only that, it has very good leaves, and they will grow in half shade, which is the situation of many urban gardens. Clematis. We always tend to think of clematis as being climbers, but quite a few of them are herbaceous plants. They're not actually climbers at all, and they sprawl or they flop around or go through other things. Well, this is Clematis recta purpurea, which is absolutely stunning, beautiful, European actually, kind of clematis. It's herbaceous and dies back to the base every winter. The colour's really good. The scent is sort of like a sweeter hawthorn. A really lovely thing. Oh, sorry. Go. Right. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a real fan of grasses. Now, there are many that you find quite commonly. Here is an actual rarity. A variegated form of the biggest of all the Miscanthus, Miscanthus giganteus. This is one called Miscanthus giganteus gilt edge. And as you can see, it has a beautiful variegation, which makes it slightly smaller in the garden, which in an urban garden might be an advantage. I do think that urban gardens need plants that are a large size sometimes, not just small ones. And this is quite unusual and beautiful. Right, still at Avondale Nursery's library garden, it's time to look at some poppies. End of May into June is the time of year when you have the oriental poppies, which are stunning plants, very short-lived in terms of flower, but amazing in terms of the bang for your buck. So, in front of me here is one called Parvi Orientali Effendi, which is an amazing kind of Turkish delight, pinky salmon. Sadly, they're all rather going over quickly, as everything is in 2011. We do seem to be in a year of it being dry and plants coming on quick but going over quick as well. But there are several very beautiful poppies in here, oriental poppies in here. Let's just look at a couple of others while we're here. Having mentioned that Papaver Effendi looks like Turkish Delight pink, here we actually have a poppy called Turkish Delight. What an amazing pink colour. Trick with these is once they've flowered, they start to die back a bit. You can cut them down and they go dormant until the autumn, and then quite often you can put some annuals on top, something like, for example, some seed-grown cosmos. Let's look at a couple of others while we're still here. Here we're looking at a very beautiful elder that's become quite common, found in gardens now, and common in the horticulture trade. It's Sambucus nigra black lace. A very beautiful specimen of it, and as you can see here, it's actually had a clematis growing through it. It looks like the clematis has been and gone, so I can't actually tell what one it was. It's not got a... Oh, maybe it has. No, it says Sambucus black lace, and then it says Clematis Guernsey cream, which I'm sorry I don't know what that is, but I should imagine cream flowers through that would look just as good as these flowers do here. I have to say, usually when I see black lace, it has a bit more pink in it, but it could be it's quite a hot site that it's actually bleaching out somewhere. Stunning shrub, easily fit into a small garden, because if it gets too big, you can just cut it back really hard. I'm a big fan of elders. I think that we should grow more of them. A couple couple of weeks ago I was at Chelsea Flower Show, and every time there is a Chelsea Flower Show, there are salvia hybrids, Salvia sylvestris or Nemorosa hybrids. This one in front of me here, which is buzzing with bees, is Salvia Nemorosa caradonna. Quite beautiful. Flowers now, and if you cut it back after flowering, it will produce a second flush later in the season. A very, very worthwhile plant. One thing about the 2011 season is that everything seems to be well ahead of its usual level of growth by now. And here we have Panicum virgatum cloud 9. Very upright, beautiful grass. Eventually this will be big clouds of flowers and go even more bluish in hue of the leaf. It does seem more upright than I'd seen it in other gardens or in pictures to be. Very, very much a beautiful genus of plants, of panicums or switchgrasses from North America. We'll be looking at more of them later when they come more into flower. Ready? Please join us again soon for another instalment of our little odyssey around the UK gardens in the season of 2011.